Hello, hello, hello. Hey, good morning. Good morning. I'm here. I am going to get to work. Today I'm going to finish the goat prop thing that I started yesterday. And yeah, it'll be cool. Let's see, let me get that open. Blender's opening. Okay. All right. We are up and running in Blender. We got our goat open here. Yeah, so let's turn on the material. A couple things I kind of am reflecting on now that I look at it with fresh eyes today. I do think it looks too much like a dog, so I think that it would be wise to adjust my volume here. My loud headphones. Yeah, I think it would be wise to add maybe some little baby goat horns that I think, I'll have to look at my reference again, but I think they poke out this away. Like up and back, kind of like that. And I think the nose is still a little too low, so I might kind of revisit this look. But again, not spending too much time on this. This is a prop that's only going to show up in 2 shots for about 2 seconds each. So, I mean, it is kind of like, I think, one of the better gags in the episode, so that's why I'm putting some care and time into trying to make it work well, but at the same time, it is only 2 shots, and it's just one prop. We may never see it again, so I'm not gonna waste a bunch of time today on that kind of stuff. And yeah, the main task for today is to get all this stuff working where this like extendo bit actually extends and is attached to the goat, and just give it a basic rig. Give it a basic rig. Yeah. So that's the plan. Fingers crossed it's not gonna take the whole day to do that. It really shouldn't. But what it should anyway, right? Yeah. Ideally, in an ideal perfect fantasy world, I would finish this in the next couple hours, like by lunchtime, and then I will spend the afternoon kind of getting back to character rig if I'm feeling emotionally prepared for that, or I could do another prop, because I think there are 3 props I need for this first episode. So that's a little rundown of the plan for the day. And if you're interested in seeing any or all of that, then continue watching and I will just get to work. And happy Thursday, everybody, and welcome. Let me get my chair. Oh, I should probably mute the mic. Okay, unmuted. All right. By the way, if you are watching this in a replay and you have any kind of opinion about the music situation, then please share. I'm streaming some royalty-free stuff in the background as per somebody's suggestion, but it's certainly not my own music and I have no attachment to it. So, does it need to change? Are there any requests? My thinking originally was to not have music and then people could play their own music to go with this, because I know like when I'm watching tutorials I hate when they have music because I'm picky about music and I don't want to listen to the music that somebody puts in their tutorials, frankly. Well, I'm trying to listen for information that I need, but that's just me. So yeah, let's visit the goat base for a few minutes and just make those changes. And I'll take a look at my reference real quick for the horns. Just bring those files up here. Yeah, so I'll bring this up on the screen momentarily. Goats. So, yeah, looking at this reference collage I made, it does look like the baby goats don't have horns, which makes sense. I'm not going to do a deep dive into goat maturity landmark or milestones, but I think it probably wouldn't hurt to just add a couple little, like, really tiny ones. Like this is kind of a teenager goat maybe. And yeah, the nose I think is too low, just a little bit, because the nose is kind of almost on the top. It's kind of right more in the middle, but on some of the goats it seems like it's kind of more on the top of the bridge of the nose, or the whatever this is, rather than kind of in the front. And the way I have it right now is that it's kind of in the front. Like, if I go in here, it's still kind of just in the front, and it really seems like it should be here. Instead of centered here, the center would be more like here. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to repaint this whole area to kind of make space for that. Yeah. So isolate that object here, and we'll go into texture paint. And this gets me all the time. I have to make sure I'm actually painting on the image I want to be painting on, because I'm using an external file, not the packed image, and that can create gotchas where you're painting on the packed image, but then you think you're painting on your external file, and it's a big old mess. So I'm going to duplicate this file. Because we don't have layered texture painting in Blender yet, unfortunately. Not built in anyway. And I don't have an add-on for it because I don't usually paint textures. So let me just find my texture maps. And in case, you know, I decide I want to come back to this one, I won't have written over it. So now I've got goat color 2. And if I swap out this for goat color 2, now I can edit goat color 2. All right. Just want to get my image open so I make sure I get the right color picked exactly. And now we can start painting. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna make a little more space for the nose. Maybe change the facial pattern a little bit so that it's more like, oh, gotta turn the stabilize back on. Yeah, I'm gonna change the facial pattern to be more like that. See how that goes. And again, I'm not too worried about like the pixelation on this map. I don't think it's going to show in the final shot because we're not going to see an extreme close-up, and it's going to be really fast, and there's probably going to be motion blur. So if this turns out to be a recurring prop that I want to use later, I'll go ahead and upscale the resolution and mess around with that. So that's better. And now let's do so yeah, more on the kind of middle to top. So like here probably. Aw, it's like a cute little heart. It's kind of too big. Let's by the way, this is a really cool trick with the Blender viewport. I love this. You can switch to orthographic view, and then you can use the numpad keys to kind of like do incremental orbits. So if you want to do like a really specific edit at a slight angle, but not have it be warped by perspective, like say for instance, getting a flat painting surface on the curved bridge of a goat nose, then you can do that like this. Also helps a lot with modeling. So now when I look at this, it's not quite as stretched up, but it's still too big. And it looks like we need some more music. Let's do some ambient. Yeah, that's more what I'm looking at. Yeah, so that's more like kind of in the middle. Even go a tiny bit higher, but I bet that's gonna work out pretty well. Oh, and don't forget, save that image. Or the next time it might not be there. Okay, and then I actually have to go in and edit the shader to be using this image as well, which is why it's not showing up in the render. Boop. Oh yeah, and the other thing is I think I'm going to give it a little goat beard, even though that's also not something baby goats have. I feel like it'll help really sell that it's not a dog, because I do feel like it's giving off very strong dog vibes right now. we go. Okay, new day, new file. I'm going to save up. Yeah, so I guess I'll go ahead and edit the jaw to match. Let's take a look. Okay, go jaw color 2 and texture paint. I copy the wrong one. No. Oh, because I'm yeah. Save all images, object mode. Boop. Cool. So now we have kind of a new pattern designed, and I do feel like it looks even more like a dog now, so definitely got to get those other elements in there. I could also, the other thing I was thinking about was playing with some black on the feet for hooves. Yeah, maybe I'll try that. Oops. Alright. Yeah, how does that look? Let's see. I think it helps. Yeah. Kind of goes with the nose shape and makes them look, kind of suggest hooves instead. Yeah, we're gonna see this prop really quickly, and my goal is to get it to really just read like a toy goat, which I guess admittedly is not the most common object you see on a daily basis, so maybe it wasn't a great choice. But the gag is that there's some like overgrowth of ivy that needs to get cut up, and I needed like a representation of how that would be dealt with in a natural way, like in a way that doesn't involve, or I should say like a synthesis of modern machinery and also the natural world. So what in the natural world would take care of overgrowth? Well, something like a goat would, but also like this character that's going to be using this prop is like kind of a modern technology whiz and machinery whiz and likes to build things. So thinking about the middle ground there, like where does that lead, came to this idea of this like goat trimmer thing that can snap vines with its mouth, and I thought, well, that could work if it's like makes a cute goat noise when it goes, and maybe plays a little song, then it'll be just fun and kind of cute to look at. And so that's kind of like, that was like my little brainstorm that led to this. And then yes, that's where I'm at now with this. Okay, save that. Yeah, and I think the other thing I was thinking about doing that might help make it less dog-like would be to maybe not use this particular shade of brown. But I don't know if that will help. I guess let's try the horns and the... Yeah, and you know what else? I think that this upper head stripe is very dog-like. So I'm just taking another look at my reference and just see what other options there are here. Noticed a lot of them have diamonds of light color on their head. So I could keep like kind of a diamond, but then fill in all this back here. Yeah, maybe helps a little, but it's not that different. But we'll run with it for now, and I'm gonna try the little horns and the little billy goat beard, and I think that'll push us over the edge into full goat territory. Yeah, we'll see. It might just be one of those things where no matter what I do, some people are gonna not register that it's a goat, but it is gonna make a goat noise. So at that point, it will be undeniable. Okay, yeah, so let's get some little goat horns in there. Save this. Let's add, I guess, some cones. This is going to be subdivided, so I'm kind of starting with pretty low on the subdivisions. Guess the loop cut does not work on the cones. Maybe because all the edges share a single point or something, I don't know. But anyway, I'll do it with a knife. I've got a knife. I'm gonna use it. Alright, let's drop one right there. And another one right there. Actually, forgot to hold X so that I get a nice straight line. Oop. There we go. Oh, I did not cut all the way through. Oopsies. So, gotta redo that. Uncheck occlude geometry. I think that's what I did wrong. Let's see. So, one more time. All right, that's more like it. So now, yeah, that's what I was expecting to see. So maybe one more loop cut. So that's gonna be our little goat horn. And I'm gonna maybe sculpt it a little too to be a little curved. And perfect. Just drop that right there and all done. Well, I guess I should scale it. Actually, that's really cute. Little unicorn horn. Maybe I should just have it be a unicorn. Yeah, that would be fun. This music goes perfectly with the birth of a unicorn as well. Behold the beauty of the goaticorn. Alright, enough of that. Yeah. Well, that's cute. Let's just put a pin in that, and maybe I will have it be a unicorn. At the moment, I'll just try like goat ones. Yeah, so just something like that, just something really I think it does help. I think we're getting more into selling it as a goat. We might not even need the beard, which would be nice, because I feel like there's already enough going on with this thing. So let's give these a material. black to match the hooves and the eyes. Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe we match the... Yeah, that's better. Now that I'm looking at the horn-eye relationship, I'm realizing that I made the eyes way too far to the side of the head, which I didn't notice yesterday, but that is too big a change to deal with now, so I'm just gonna run with it. And I think we're gonna... Yeah, okay. I think for now, the one last thing I'd really love is to have a little white dot in here. So I'm going to do that because that'll just take a second. I think these are mirrored, yeah? Yeah. So I'm just going to duplicate and call this goat pupil dot. And do we already have a white material? We can use the teeth material. Something about that dot, it really helps, I think. Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay. So there's our updated goat for the day. And yeah, so let's move on and let's get back into this situation here. Go ahead and close this. And just before I move on, make sure I've saved my textures. I think I did, but yeah, I mean, it's grayed out, so I guess that means it's saved. Cool. So, yeah. Oh, water and stretch break for a second. Okay. Yeah, so previously on this, I was setting this thing up to extend and contract without the thickness of these joints or these bars actually changing. And so I got that working. And today I'm just gonna kind of add a couple more details in. I'd want to put a little round kind of cylindrical joint at each corner, and also in each middle junction, to indicate hinges that would be there, and also to cover this kind of jagged nonsense. So that's what I'm going to do, and then once that's done, I'm going to hook it up to the handle here and hook the other end up to the goat, and I'm going to set up a little quick and dirty rig so that it can be animated in the 2 shots that it's in. And then we'll be done with this prop. So, first thing I'm going to do is go in and go into the original wire that generates this, the original spline, and make a few tweaks that I need to make. The 2 crisscross arms are not going to line up exactly on top of each other like this. There's actually going to be a side offset so that, you know, it just looks a little more like it really would. So before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and actually, no, I'm not going to duplicate it, because if I change my mind, that's an easy thing to fix in 1 click. So I'm just going to go right ahead and let's see if I can just get, yeah, just select half of them and go in X 0.01. That looks about right. Yeah. And then in the other half, go minus 0.01. And so now we have them kind of offset sideways in space, so that when we thicken them up, you'll actually see that it's, you know, two different. What would the name of that be? Like a spring? Like if you were an engineer, what would you call that? I have no idea. And something else I wanted to do was fix this origin. And zero this out, which should center everything. And then go in, and I don't know if this is going to matter later, but I feel like when you have weird little imperfections, they end up coming in and biting you later, so I'm just going to tweak these to be precise, because everything else is. Oops. Okay, so now I've done the little bits, and then the last thing I want to do also is actually segment all the curves in the middle here, because if you actually just look at one segment, there's no point here in the middle. And the reason that matters is because I'm going to want to add joints to the middle, and I'm going to instance them onto points that are going to be in the middle. And I don't want points in the middle of both sides, because I just want one joint at each junction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide half of them. That only hides the points, unfortunately. Let's see. So there's another way I can do this. Just have to think for a second. Maybe if I just subdivide them? Let's try subdividing them. That might actually work. Yeah. Cool. So did that. So those are, so that's the kind of thing I was talking about. Like, if I hadn't been precise with where I was putting everything before, that probably wouldn't have worked the way I wanted it to. The points wouldn't have been, you know, in the middle. Cool. So now I have all the points I want. And I'm going to want to instance a joint onto each of these except for the end points. So I'm going to put those in their own little selection group, because I can tell geometry nodes to not put well, I think I can anyway, right? Can I do groups? Maybe I can't. On curves. I know there's a way to do it with like index points and stuff like that, but man, I don't know how to do that stuff. Well, yeah, I might just have to try. So that's ready. The other thing I'm going to get ready next is the actual like profile curve I'm going to use to create the thickness. Before I was just using this round tube, but I'd like it to just be I mean, I guess a round tube works fine. I do want to keep it low on detail. Yeah, let's just leave it a round tube for now, so we're not overdoing it on detail. And then if I feel like it needs it later, I'll add more of like an interesting contour to these. So then that means the only other thing to do before jumping into the geometry notes part is to make the little joint. Excuse me. Yeah, make the little joint that's going to go in each of these joints. And I'm just going to start with a cylinder. Like 16. And actually, that reminds me real quick, I'm going to I forgot to apply the scale to the horns. Don't miss that step. Actually, all this stuff, come to think of it. Except the unicorn horn. Cool. Anyway, so rotate this 90 degrees and we will scale it a little more. I'm going to want it to be about that size, enough so that the bars fully go into it. And I'll do a few quick little modeling things to this. Hmm. Okay, and oh, because I didn't apply rotation, that's why. Apply rotation scale, and then now that behaves the way you'd think it would. And I'm just gonna do like a little inset here real quick. Okay, and then that'll be fine. Let's add a little bevel to it. And finally a subdivide. And shade smooth. And now we have our little joint. It's a masterpiece of modeling, isn't it? Okay, so I'll call this joint. Oh, I am trying to add a prefix for everything. Eventually it's going to need it. I'll have to go in later and add it to everything I missed, but I'm just doing them as I go. The reason being, when I reference this in, or link, I should say, in Blender language, when I link this into my animation scene, it's going to be really helpful for everything to have the prefix of what it belongs to. And that goes for just about everything in the scene, all the meshes, all the objects, and all the materials. Okay, so now we have our joint. For this one, we can hide it. And now we can go in and I can fumble around in geometry nodes for a few minutes and hopefully get this working. So gonna want to bring the joint in, and I'm gonna want to instance onto. This is the other reason I don't use geometry nodes very much yet, is because they keep changing everything. It's like every new version of Blender, they are deprecating old nodes and changing them into other nodes and renaming things and moving them around. They're still figuring out what geometry nodes is supposed to be like, and so I'm just kind of trying to hang back. You know, I was getting a little more into it before, and then, you know, they upgraded it and I had to like change a bunch of my old node setups because all the nodes had been changed, and just like, man, I'll just wait for you guys. I'll just wait till you guys are done with all that, and I'll just be over here not using them. But for this in particular, I kind of need them because I need this effect, and you can't do it very easily with just curves. Because if I were just doing a lattice or scale on the curve, I think we'd be seeing how the pipes would be stretching out as well. And then getting super thin here, and then getting super thick here, and we don't want that. There might be a better, or there might be a different way, I should say, than geometry nodes of pulling that off, but I couldn't find it. So here we are. So I got my joints, and then I'm gonna do instance something. Let's see. Instance on points. So here's our instance, and here is our points. And we're gonna need to merge that or what is it called here? Join geometry. And there we go. Got our little joints. There. That's it. Yeah, so now everything's intact. Everything's attached to some joints. Nothing stretches or warps in a weird way. It feels like a real mechanical object. So that's what I was going for, and I have done it. So just out of curiosity, I'm gonna see what it's like when I warp this thing, because I might have it bend a little. Yeah, and it bends really well, actually. Not when it's like compressed like this, but when it stretches all the way out, kind of, you know, if you were to stretch this thing way out and it had a big heavy toy goat on the end, you'd kind of probably bend a little bit. So cool. So now we're ready to move into the next step. I'll go ahead and add a material to this while I'm at it. Guess I can do it in here. Let's go ahead and do it in here. Set material. And let's grab our chrome. And it'll nicely match this handle here. Cool, so I think that's it for modeling. I think we are all modeled up for now. I might add the goat beard later, but I think it's time to move into rigging. Which is good, because yeah, I was hoping this would be kind of a shorter task today. And we're on track so far, it's great. Just taking a little stretch break. Okay, so excuse me. Okay, so yeah, so I'm gonna save this, and then I'm gonna save again into, first I'm gonna, just based on the way I save my files, I'm I save my rig files in a different folder as my modeling files, just to keep things organized. And I need to make sure all my texture paths are relative before I do that, otherwise it'll just break. Or I mean, absolute texture paths. Otherwise it'll break all my texture paths when I change my folder. So make paths absolute. Save again, and now we save up to our rigging folder. Go trimmer rig B1. Sweet. Just double check that textures are still working. Yep. Cool. So let's get this rigging underway. So I'm not actually going to rig this object at all. I'm just going to rig this lattice. This lattice is going to be what controls this whole entire situation. And I think so what I have to do now is I have to decide where kind of the root of this rig is going to be, and I think it's going to be like the handle. That's because that's going to end up getting constrained to the character's hands. And so I'm going to put the handle in the box at kind of the center of the world. I'm just going to line up kind of, I'm going to make the world origin kind of exactly where I would want to constrain the hand to. And maybe I'll do the vertical hand, since that'll line up with the arm, and just make that all more straightforward. So yeah, if you imagine like this is where the character's hand axis would be, that's makes sense to put the origin of the rig there. So that's where that's gonna be. And now that that is done, I will apply transforms to deltas. That zeroes all of this out over here, which is good to do when you're rigging. And joint is gonna stay where it is, but this arm, lattice, and this are all gonna moved to like that. I don't really care that there's a little bit of overlap because we won't ever see that. It's not like the most elegant joint. It just connects. That's it. It's connected. That's all we need. Just kind of put it there. Cool. So that's good now. And then we'll place our goat appropriately as well. I'm going to parent everything under the body, I think. No, actually I won't, because that might mess me up later when I'm rigging. Oh yeah, and another thing I have to do before I start the rigging process is apply all my mirrors. So we'll apply that, and we'll apply that. Cool. And the reason I did that was so that I can now get rid of this origin empty, which was serving as the mirror axis, and we can get rid of that. Don't need that anymore. Okay. So I just gotta think for a second. In the shot, we're gonna be seeing it kind of from here. So I think I want the goat to be on this side of the thingy, the extendo arm, so that we see it clearly. We don't see just all that. So, yeah. And it kind of joins up there. Maybe a little further back to get a little more extension out of it. I think it is going to need to extend pretty far. Oh, I don't even think I need to add a new... I thought I was going to maybe have to add a bigger joint thing, but I don't think I do. Might add one anyway, just 'cause. Okay, so this is kind of the vision. I do think maybe the handle's a little too big. I never intentionally set the size. That's just the size I sculpted them at. So let's go ahead. More like that. Or even like that. The goat ought to be kind of big. Not so big the character can't carry it around, though. But big enough that when it goes and trims the hedge, it doesn't look impossibly tiny. I might even have to just kind of like cheat it and have it be a different size in the two shots. Yeah. And so now everything has to move again. The other thing I'm going to do is have this start fully compressed. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this a little bit. Probably should have done this first. We're going to have this start like that. Oops. Oh, not oops. Just need to move the goat more too. Yeah, should have done this first. Oh well. It's okay, we're almost there. Almost there. Okay. Making an instance of that. There. That's gonna work nicely, and I don't really care about the overlap. I don't think we're gonna see it. And I'm going to give this one its own little material. So give it time to save. And maybe make this one, or maybe even try the purple actually. Very tempted to make all these joints colored as well, but I'm thinking that once I'm actually in the scene, the ship is very colorful, the set's going to be very colorful, there's going to be a lot going on. I think it's better if this is simpler. So I'm just going to leave it like this. Not add any more visual complication than I already have. So yeah, I think this is good for like kind of our basic totally bizarre thing I've made. Yeah, so we are ready to just double check again on all the, because I moved everything around. Yeah, probably have to do this little number again. Make sure everything's zeroed out. Scale is at 1 for everything. I think I have the unicorn horn in my backup file, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it. I don't think I'm going to have it be a unicorn. Let's see. I mean, it is really funny and cute to have it be a unicorn. But, I don't know. I mean, it's not like the thing isn't weird already. It's not I could just make it even weirder. But yeah, I kind of feel like I haven't fully given up on it coming across as a goat yet. And if I add a unicorn horn, it's just gonna put the nail in the coffin for that. But yeah, I have it in a backup file, so I'm gonna delete it out of the rig file because I like to keep, you know, unnecessary geometry out of the rig file. And on that note, let's delete unused data blocks. And so now we are ready to actually add an armature and rig this goat puppy up. So I'm going to use an add-on that I treated myself to called our Auto Rig Pro, and it, you know, for me was a wise choice because I don't want to spend any more time rigging than I absolutely have to. And Blender has put in a lot of work, I know, into the Rigify system, and I applaud them for that, but for me it was still like pretty confusing and difficult to figure out. And so, because I'm just not a rigging person, so I went ahead and went with this, and it's great. So I'm gonna save up, so in case I screw anything up with the armatures, I can come back to this. Rig 2, Rig V2, and add a empty armature. So you see it put the origin of the rig where at the world origin, which is gonna matter later because I'm gonna constrain this puppy right here to the hand of the character that's holding it. So it's useful for all this to already be ready. And so mostly I'm just going to add custom bones to this, but I am going to utilize their fantastic IK spline rig. And I'm going to use that for this arm. It gives you like great control, and yeah, it's just really useful. So let's see, I want to rotate from the 3D cursor, RX. Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's almost exactly where it needs to be. I'm gonna unhide my lattice actually. And yeah, I'll just put the bones right where the lattice joints are. Which means I need to reduce the number of joints by 1. Controller frequency, since I only gonna have 3 joints, I'm just gonna have 1 controller per joint. No bendy bones, curve smoothness. I think you can change that later. Smooth interpolation. Can leave all this the way it is. And yeah, I'm gonna have to re-rotate, it looks like. Oh, maybe not. Great. Yeah, so just put these where they're supposed to be. Yeah. Zero, because why not? Cool. So, that's ready. And I think that's the only thing I'm actually gonna use from Rigify, or from Auto Rig Pro rather. And then I hit match to rig. And there's our rig so far. So I can grab these, and this thing just gives you all kinds of control. Like I can move these and, you know, bend it. It'll make more sense once it's hooked up, but it's just really handy, and it's all ready to go. It's all already set up. And so now I just want to add a few more bones manually. Just one for the jaw. And I'm going to need a goat kind of offset rotator so that I can rotate the goat independently of the end of this thing. And I think that should be all I need. I don't think I'll bother with like eye controls. If I want to animate those later, I'll just animate the objects, because I don't think I'm gonna. So edit. This part gets a little confusing. I think these are the control bones on this layer. I guess I'm going to start on my own layer. So I'll just add, I'm going to add another bone right exactly where this one is to start. And then I'm going to drop a new bone in here. Single bone. Let's find where it is. Is this one? Yeah. So Auto Rig Pro likes you to add all your own custom bones with CC as the prefix, so that its internal system understands that it's something that you put there and you want it to just, you know, treat it nicely. So I'm going to call this CC goat offset. And it doesn't particularly matter which way it's facing, but I'll just go ahead and do that. So yeah, I'll need that one, and I'll need one for the jaw. Oh, but before I do that, I'll go ahead and make it a child of I think this one. Yeah. So C line tip. Yeah, and that's where she'll be. And then, yeah, one for the jaw. And I determined that's where I want the jaw pivot to be, so I'll set my cursor there, and then I'll go back in here, edit. Oh, oops. Copy, paste. Cool, so there's our little jawbone. Call this CC jaw. And this is going to be a child of my goat offset. And I think that's it. I think that is all I need. So save, go into pose mode, and I can steal some of these custom controls that come with the rig. I can steal them for my goat jawbones. Those are all in here. And I think just like C circle one. There we go. Cool, so now we got a little jaw control there, and we'll do the same thing for our goat offset. It's good. I want that one to be big. And we can even add them to like a group if we want. Just gonna call it yellow and make it yellow. And then these two can be added. Cool. So we got our rig up and running, and I think that's it. Yeah, so now it's just a matter of attaching everything to the controls, and we are done with this one. Yes, goat trimmer. think this calls for some more awake music now. So let's go into... Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is hook up the... Let's see, I think these are the deformed bones here. These three, yeah. Yeah, deformed. So spine 01X, spine 02X, and spline 03X. And so these are going to be the three bones that I'm going to bind my lattice to. Yeah. Right. Just make sure. Yeah. Those are the reference bones. Okay. No, yeah, I think it is these three here. So I'll just go in and grab this name and confirm which one is which. Oh wait, no, those are the control bones. I'll figure it out. Yeah, those, okay. Okay, the deformed bones are C, spline, 1, 2, and 3X. Okay, and then 1 is... Where's 1? One is the root. Makes sense. So I'll copy this name, this bone. And now go into my lattice, and we're gonna make some vertex groups here, and we're gonna give them the same names. Just picking out some music real quick. Or something cheerful. Okay, so groups. spline 3x. And now all I have to do is connect the appropriate points into the groups, and that'll be good to go. So let's make this a little simpler on ourselves. So let's do that. Now, I want these points and these points to be in group 1. So we will assign those there. And I think these ought to be in 2. And these ought to be in 3. Let's try that. Oops. Cool. And now if I add an armature to this, pick my rig, we should see something happen. Not quite. Almost. We're seeing it follow, which is a good start, but we are not seeing it stretch. So let's do a little troubleshooting. Let's stretch this out. And, oh, you know what? It actually might just be a rig control thing. I think it might be. Let's go into... just hunt around for a minute. Original? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Sweet. So got little sub controls there. We can move this around and we get our switch this real quick so it's a little easier to see. We get our little stretchy arm. Let's we can stretch it way out. Brilliant. So just have to troubleshoot this. The end's not sticking, but otherwise we are good. So I'm going to save and let's think for a second. How do we fix the things not sticking? It's the there's like a volume preservation thing going on the lattice, so we should probably turn that off. Not doing that. Just thinking for a minute. I'm wondering if I should constrain some things or if I should try to change the lattice. Because, let's see, I might just be able to like constrain some points. But yeah, you can't do vertex groups on splines, so that wouldn't be very useful. Weld? Yeah, this is tricky, because one way to do it is to add more subdivisions to the lattice, but then that is going to be really complicated. This music is super distracting too. Oh, well, no, I can't do vertex groups. I was gonna say I could just exclude. This always happens with rigging too. It's like there's something that you just don't anticipate, and then you have to figure it out. Volume preservation. Okay, that, no, we want to keep our volume preservation. I don't think any of them are exactly right, but it's fine. Let's try 0.5. Or 2? Okay, I think I figured it out. I need the end of the lattice to line up exactly with the joint, and I need to attach these points to a bone that doesn't move, and I think that will solve the problem for that end. And then maybe I can do the same thing with the other side. So let's try that. So once again, let's go here. Oh, first I have to figure out a bone that doesn't move. Which would be like this. Spline root X. So we'll go back in here and we'll make a new group. Called spline root X. And assign these points here. And we want to remove them from spline 1. Weird. Oh shoot, I messed up on the groups, didn't I? Let's... Oh no! Oh no! Oh man. Okay. Shoot. Alright. Let's just... Let's try that again. Alright. These